At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much. It's the grudge match here at Genna on a Thursday night in Central Oregon. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Aiden O'Neill. Thanks so much for joining us per usual. Coming off a game last night where the Elks dropped it 17-1 to the Portland Pickles. Naturally, you're going to come out today with a little extra energy, and that's what we hope to see out of Bend. But the storyline coming into this one is not on Bend's side at all. The Portland Pickles, sitting at 23-24, have to be in go mode. 3 more series left, ending this one tonight, and then 2 more to follow against Walla Walla and against Yakima. So you think about all the different tiebreakers. If they're able to win tonight, they're firmly in that number 4 position in the West Coast League South playoffs. And the team that's right on their tail, the Springfield Drifters, have a chance tonight against Yakima. Springfield ends against Ridgefield and Bend. So those are the 2 teams. The top 3 feel decided in the West Coast League South with Ridgefield, Walla Walla, and Corvallis. I look at that final spot. Who's going to come out and get it? And it feels like when we look back at the end of this season on games that mattered a lot, this might be one for Portland, although it just shows up as a regular season game that fits into the schedule. That means a whole lot more. The Elks are going to send Enrique Perez to the mound tonight, but you're facing a tough Portland Pickles lineup that not only put up 17 runs, but they got the bats going, putting up 16 hits in the process. It's Masa Chilcutt at the top of this order, just like yesterday. Then Cody Nidowitz, Kai Maltz, M.D. Connor, Elijah McNeil, Grafton Stroop, Luis Castillo, Tyson McGuarty, and Caleb Duncan to round out the order. Practically identical to yesterday's lineup, just the difference is Caleb Duncan gets the start in the 9-hole. Elks and the Pickles always bring out the best in one another, and after the bout in the postseason in 2024, there's been a vengeance on the Elks side to get back, to have a chance to prove to Portland that, hey, we're still here as one of the best teams in the league. And a chance to win the season series. They'll send Enrique Perez to the mound out of Oregon Tech. An 8.10 ERA, 2 strikeouts, a 1.5 whip. The Camas, Utah native, making his first start of 2026. Perez has been good and has been utilized as a reliever for these Elks. Last time he threw came against the Ridgefield Raptors where the stuff was sharp. Looks into Masa Chilcutt. And the first pitch of the ball game runs well in, forcing Chilcutt to jump out of the way. We get started just 1 minute behind schedule, same as yesterday at 6:36. Hope you guys enjoyed that great national anthem from Mary Chapman. Always love when Mary sings it. gets us in the spirit. Perez fills up the zone on the 1-0. Last night, the Pickles got the offense going early, and it got the Elks behind the 8 ball from the jump. Had a 4 spot in the opening frame. Elks will look for that not to happen tonight. Chilcutt takes in. Elks in their all-black pinstripe uniforms as Alan Cox watches on. Entering tonight with a 17-30 record, just one of 2 teams in the West Coast League with 30 losses. Chilcutt grounds one to Hattenhauer at third, who knocks it down. He throws to Beck on one hop and got Chilcutt. Ty Hattenhauer sticks with the ball, hits 77 that he knocked down with his chest. Cam Beck, who's been working on that defense over there at first, making the pick look easy. With one away, now it's Cody Nidowitz. Will take down and away. Defense for the Elks tonight. Jackson Murphy, Wynn Gurney, Isaac Pfeiffer in the outfield. Hattenhauer, Hartlob, Eli Pupo starting at second. His first start in the infield this year as Chilcutt swings through it. Cam Beck over there at first. And Hayden Smith doing the catching. Second base, not one of those positions you generally just get thrown into. So intrigued to see how Pupo looks there tonight. Second his swing was Nidowitz, and he did not go. That last outing from Enrique Perez was on July the 25th. A 6-0 loss for the Elks, where their offense only mustered 1 hit. But he went 2 1/3, gave up 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, and didn't walk anybody. Tough customer in Cody Nidowitz. Went 1 for 7 last night with an RBI single in his final at-bat. And a walk this time. So Perez doing something he didn't do at all in last outing, which is walk a batter. That brings up Kai Mall. Coming off a 17-1 game. Tough to come back from, of course, but the beauty of baseball, as I always say, you start the next day 0-0. And a golden opportunity for these Elks to not only win the season series, but maybe play spoiler to the Pickles' playoff hopes. Ball takes up. Pickles in their throwback uniforms tonight. They're like the Oregon Ducks of the West Coast League, where every night you could see a new uni combo. These have the Portland Pickles across the chest, and then a West Coast League WCL lettering in between the Portland and the Pickles. Perez's heaters called a strike. Perez also at school at Oregon Tech, even though a down year for them and the staff. Coming over with assistant coach Johnny Kemp. He did a nice job at keeping the ball in the strike zone. When he got hit around, it was just on pitches that missed middle. Perez gets that call at the top. This wind tonight is swirling, and it is called 12 miles per hour on Uno on this 84-degree sunny evening. But you see it's harshly blowing in. Ball grounds one softly to Hattenhauer, sliding at third. He goes to second and gets the force out. Pupo covering there, Malt safe at first. But Ty Hattenhauer making a nice play. This was not an easy one, despite it only be hitting 64 off the bat. Had to work quick, some speed from Nidowitz. Away for MD Connor. Connor takes down and in. MD has been locked in this series. Reached 3 times last night, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. And in the opening night of this series, clubbed a home run to deep right field. Ball goes. Fastball misses away. Throw down to second is high. And into center field. Ty Malt with 2 outs gets aggressive and swipes second. Malt is now leading this team with 17 stolen bases. If you thought the offense was the only call-in card for the Pickles' best player, he can run too. Soft ground ball. First action for Pupo at second. And the throw slips out of his hand a tad. But Beck able to make the catch to end the inning. Pickles strand a runner in scoring position. Elks coming up at Genna when we come back. Elks get a 0 to open up this ball game. Now they're going to try to get the offense going. Aiden O'Neill back up here in the broadcast booth. I mentioned it in the open, but tonight, from a standings perspective, this game means so much. The Portland Pickles currently sit at 4th in the West Coast League South, but they're just 2 games up on the Springfield Drifters. And when you're playing a team like the Elks who have struggled, if you're Portland, you've got to take advantage of exactly that. Drifters are winners of 2 straight, have won 7 of their last 10 games. Bout with Yakima tonight, and they're also in contention for the second half crown. In the second half, Springfield is 12-8. So one of the favorite things that I like to do at this stage of the season in both Major League Baseball and the West Coast League is standings watch. It's so fun to see how each game will change the standings in a contest, and how the overall season outlook can be completely reshaped if a couple of things go one way or another. Wynn Gurney chops one foul up the left field line as Alan Cox, smooth. Alan Cox is down there at third tonight. He took a high hop there and barehanded it with ease, former middle infielder himself. Johnny Kemp is down at first. Gurney, Pupo, Beck, Murphy, Pfeiffer, Ortiz, Smith, Hartlob, Hattenhauer. The Elks lineup. Gurney takes away. So more on that stand-ins watch. Go on your West Coast League site, look at the scoreboard, and refresh it every couple innings. We'll keep you updated too, but we're at that stage of the season where every game matters. As Gurney takes ball 4. So Win Gurney, the first base runner of the game for the Elks. On the base on balls from Nick Rodriguez. Pickles defense reads as follows. Nidowitz, Maltz, and Duncan in the outfield. Stroop and McNeil on the left side. Shilcutt and Connor on the right side. McGuarty is the catcher. Only difference in that starting 9 from yesterday is the right fielder. Gurney takes off on the first pitch. The throw down to second. A perfect tag from Elijah McNeil, and he gets Win. Looks like Gurney also got hit in the face, so hope Win is okay. But considering the seismic jump that Win Gurney had, that required a perfect throw from McGuarty and a perfect tag from McNeil, and both were accomplished. Pupo into left for a base hit. Just committed to Western Oregon this morning. New home and a new attitude getting things going. That makes it even more frustrating that Gurney got thrown out. Look at this tag from McNeil. That is about as quick as you can get from point A to point B. And we've raved about him all series long, but once again showing off. One away, and it's Cam Beck. Take a strike on the outside corner. The last time Cam Beck stepped up here at Vince Genna Stadium was on Tuesday night, in arguably the best moment of the season. In the 8th inning, a full count, 2 men on base, went deep to right center field and put the Elks on top, where they would ultimately stay in a W. It was about as impressive of a swing as you'll see. To right center field over the banner out there. And in order to hit a ball to that part of the yard, you have to have next level power. That's what Beck does have with his stalwart frame. Pupo was dancing off of first. They throw back there. More on tonight's starter, Nick Rodriguez. This is his first start of the season for the Pickles. So it's 2 guys in uncharted waters, starting their first games of the 2026 summer. Beck checks his swing, but it's called strike 3 on location. That's a tough break from Beck because it was off the plate. Unsure if he went anyway, but 2 gone. Let's look back to 2 nights ago from our drone shot that you guys all love. That swing to right center sent shockwaves through Genna. Crowd of 2,000. And to have that sort of moment just showcase the beauty of this great sport that even in a season that may be forgotten down the road, 13 games below 500 the Elks are, you can still have times that shine. Murphy grounds one softly back to Rodriguez, who completes the clean first inning. Both of the first 2 batters reached in Gurney and Pupo. But Gurney got caught stealing, and Pupo was left on the base. West Coast League look around at these games today that matter so much. All just getting started. Corvallis playing Ridgefield. That's the first one that holds a score with the Raptors on top 1-0. Another game that matters a lot because Corvallis is currently 3rd in the West Coast League South. So if Corvallis, and it's unlikely because of their pedigree, their experience in these spots, goes on a skid, there could be another team that emerges out of nowhere to take their spot. That game on the bottom left, though, of your screen, Springfield and Yakima. The Pippins were right in the thick of the playoff race just a week ago. They're currently on a 4-game losing skid. That is a ginormous game for both sides, but especially Springfield, because if the Elks can find a way to beat the Pickles and Springfield beats Yakima, then they move just 1 game away from the Pickles, a team they just won a series against. It's complicated, it's tough to follow. I wish I had a formula to break it all down, but I'll do my best. And just know that those are the 2 biggest games of the night. To the second, Enrique Perez, Nick Rodriguez, both looking good in their first starts so far in that first inning. And traditionally in this game of baseball, if you have a game that's 17-1 one night, the very next night it's probably going to be super low scoring. So I wouldn't be surprised about that. But the Elks on these bullpen days, when Enrique Perez, not a guy that's used to going deep into games, they've struggled because as the summer's gone on, their bullpen is thinned out. So another thing to watch is how far does Perez go in this game? How can the Pickles offense respond after their second best offensive night of the entire season? Elijah McNeil takes a breaking ball for a strike at the top of the zone. No score after 1. McNeil, Stroop, and Castillo this inning against the righty and Perez. Round that foul. Coming off that great defensive play in the first inning, swiping down the tag at second. Now gets the bat in his hand. Night after he had 3 runs batted in. 0-2 misses up and in. Or make that 4 RBI because he had the RBI doubles that brought in a collection of 3 total and then an RBI walk that came in the 7th. Perez on top though, 1-2. McNeil, more action for Ty Hattenhauer, who throws a 1-hop strike to first and continues to pick it over there at the hot corner. That is the 3rd play already that Ty's had to make. And with Brady Pettit departing this morning, somebody's got to step up over there at 3rd. Young Hattenhauer, who's traditionally a shortstop, making that look easy. 1 away for Grafton Stroop. Another nice crowd on hand tonight, this Thursday night baseball at Genna. Happy the clear skies have continued with not too much smoke in the area. Stroop had an RBI single last night. One of 5 Pickles with an average over 300 at 301. He'll take. Unsure where that missed. It looked like it caught the top of the zone, but a bit up. Perez seeking to stay in the zone. Elks pitchers got in trouble last night when they were out of it. Does walk him here, though, with 1 out. The second walk given up from Enrique Perez. And that steps up the ever, ever dangerous Luis Castillo. Castillo yesterday didn't do the same level of damage they were used to see, but he did have 2 runs batted in as he fans on that curveball. There were multiple members of this Pickles team that had 7 at-bats. Castillo only had 6, but in 5 of them he reached base. Perez up 0-2. 0-2-1 out, the runner on first in Grafton Stroop. Just underway if you're just joining us on Bend Elks YouTube. Seismic jump from Stroop. He's picked off, but Perez throws it off the base into center field. That's going to go down as a stolen base, though, because even if the throw was strong and on the money, Stroop would have been there. Watching it again, though, that also could be an error on Perez based on the official score. See how generous our man Chase is down there. RBI chance from Castillo, who has 23 of them now. And he strikes out swinging. Great time for the first K from Enrique Perez. It comes in a timely spot. Now requiring a 2-out hit from the bottom of this order. They did not give Perez an error. Stroop did have a huge jump on that one, and it would have been close, but after watching the replay, I do think if the throw was there, he would have been out. Gordy had his first start of the series last night. Take a curveball up and in. Couple of hits, reached on an error, an RBI walk. One of the most complete offensive nights from him as a Portland Pickle. It's hit. As that ran up and in at 72. No ill intent on the off speed. First hit by pitch of this game. Off that left shoulder blade. I feel like in this series, hit by pitches have been quite common. Even in yesterday's game, there were 4. So I would be correct. There were 4 in yesterday's game and 6 on Tuesday. That's a lot of hit by pitches in a game. And how about that? Another one. Caleb Duncan is a ball magnet because if you remember to Tuesday night, he got hit twice. And in his first at bat this evening, he's plunked. The first one was on the off speed that hit off the shoulder blade, and then the second one was right off the thigh at 81. And with that, a jam ensuing from Enrique Perez out of thin air. He got a pretty quick 2 outs. And then the back-to-back hit by pitches. Wes Harper heading out there for the Elks, pitching coach with this Bend unit. He was wheeling and dealing last night and looking for any answer. While the Elks gave up 17 runs, he was unable to find one, and ultimately resulted in Isaac Pfeiffer, position player, throwing the final inning. Perez has been fine, and that pitch count is still right where you want it to be. Ideally 30 or less after 2 innings. Right in that spot. They're loaded for the top of the order in Masa Chilcutt. Who has 23 runs batted in this summer. Grounded out his first time to Hattenhauer. And he pops one into shallow left field. Murphy's got to crash in. Going out is Hartlob. And Jackson Murphy saves the day on the catch. Stranding the bases loaded for the Pickles. Huge spot for Enrique Perez to get out of despite the 2 hit by pitches with 2 away. We'll go to the bottom of the second on Bend Elks YouTube. Looking back to that last inning, the Portland Pickles with 2 outs had 2 batters reach in McGuarty and Duncan on hit by pitches. But the story of Tuesday night from Portland was their inability to cash in with runners on base. They left 15 on the paths. And here in the second inning, with them loaded, Chilcutt pops out. They've already left 4 on the bases in the first 2 innings. Isaac Pfeiffer starts things for the Elks, and on the first pitch he sees, rounds out to Chilcutt. On the Pickles side, you don't want to let too many of those opportunities go away without taking advantage. 1 gone in the bottom of the second for Jordan Ortiz. Ortiz still with an average sky high. 342 he's hitting, an 832 OPS. That's got to be encouraging for the LMU coaches, getting him back for his sophomore year. And I echo every time he's up, the king of good luck. He's rubbing some sort of doll in the dugout every time before he comes up. Voodoo magic Ortiz has working. And whatever it may be, baseball is hard. If you're batting 342 at any level, you were absolutely doing something right. Taking some days off with a hand injury, so happy to have J.O. back. He fouls that away. Was in the lineup on Friday night in the 2-hole. And he was the first runner to reach base in that inning where Cam Beck ultimately capped it off with a 3-run home run. You wonder how he reached? A hit by pitch. Ortiz, the 3-2 from Rodriguez, and he takes low, ball 4. Second consecutive inning where Rodriguez has walked a batter. Brings up Hayden Smith. Our first look at Johnny Kemp at first. It's a unique look for sure. Alan Cox, the Elks' third base coach this evening, or at least so far. They switch around. Hayden Smith takes a strike. There's Allen. Brought in around the third base coaching box. Won't be in there for long, though. I bet Allen will make his way to shallow left field, closer to home plate. And Allen always the one that calls the signs for the runners on base, regardless of where he is, at first, in the dugout, and in this case, at third. Running is Ortiz. Smith fouls it. .167 average from Hayden Smith, coming off a ridiculous year at Glendale Community College, now committed to Utah. Elks catcher room is thin. Ortiz has just done DHing. It's really just Pfeiffer and Smith. So they've needed both of them to step up. Smith pops one foul down the right field line. Duncan gave it a look. That Elks bullpen, you wonder what the next steps are tonight. You hope to get multiple innings out of Enrique Perez. But it will be a bullpen game. We've had that confirmed. Rodriguez throws to look at Ortiz. Back safely is J.O. Story of the Elks season has been inconsistency. You come off that win on Tuesday night with loads of momentum, 5-4 the win, and then yesterday, that big blowout loss. That fastball misses up, and it's just caught by McGuarty. You gotta put it behind you. Come out today with a new attitude and relish in the opportunity. Ortiz chases way down and away and strikes out. The second K from Nick Rodriguez. Gone, it's Camden Hartlob, his third consecutive start in his first week as an Elk. Ortiz is back safely with a dive. He's just stolen 2 bags in 3 attempts, so not a popular runner. But with 2 outs, anything can happen. He goes. Fastball chopped to the third baseman and Stroop on a Sunday hop. And his throw to first will end the inning. Elks get 1 runner on. Jordan Ortiz on the walk. But this game stays scoreless as we go to the third. Elks already going to the bullpen in this prototypical bullpen game that we knew coming into the game tonight. Thought Enrique Perez might go deeper, but they go to Jackson after just 2 innings of work from Perez. Josh from Umpqua Community College, a 6.07 ERA, 19 Ks, and a 1.43 whip. Last time he properly threw against the Portland Pickles. Cody Nidowitz takes outside. Nidowitz, Maltz, and Connor this inning. Or correction on that, it showed up in the stats because Jackson last night got an at-bat. If you were watching yesterday when the game got out of hand, Alan Cox sent 3 relievers to the box to pinch hit. Nidowitz softly grounds to Pupo. Pupo's throw to first also soft, and he shakes his head as he throws it. Eli's still trying to figure out the in-between throw being a natural outfielder, and it's slipping out of his hand a bit awkwardly. But hey, we're at that stage of the season. Pupo, you're out there at second. Go get the start. He was taking ground balls in batting practice, and the fielding side of things hasn't looked bad at all. Once that throw gets dialed, he'll be just fine. Jackson misses away on the fastball. But Garrett Schmokel, Carter Hess, Josh Jackson, Jack Harper all got to hit in the 9th inning of yesterday's game. Jackson got the body loose for his appearance tonight. Fastball called a strike to Malt. Garrett Schmokel had the best at-bat, although no one cashed in with a hit because he looked comfortable. He told me pregame he's a former two-way guy. Josh Jackson, not a bad at-bat, but ultimately did strike out. As Malt swats that one into deep left center field and over the glove of Jackson Murphy. Alt's got himself a stand-up double as the throw goes into the cutoff man. And he just continues to hit, the league leader in batting average. That is double number 8 for him on the summer. 99 off the bat. Hanging breaking ball at the top of the zone. His eyes lit up. What gives the Pickles RBI leader in MD Connor another RBI chance. On the first pitch, he grounds a fastball to Pupo at second. 2 outs. Moving up to third is Kai Mall. This sport, just funny. The baseball gods want to make you laugh because in Eli Pupo's first game at second base, it feels like every ball is getting hit to him. He continues to get tested and keeps answering the call. Nice job by Jackson getting right back in the strike zone. Still has to go through Elijah McNeil. First pitch heater just misses off the plate. Jackson's been utilized in multiple different roles with the Elks. Started off as their primary closer at the beginning of the season. Just like a lot of the players in summer ball went away for Bend. Now getting utilized in a multitude of ways. McNeil's first time grounded out to Hattenhauer, who was a magnet himself in the first few innings. When Josh Jackson's stuff is right, you get shades of a Simon Lemke, filthy reliever with the Elks with his unique arm angle. McNeil grounds one softly. Hattenhauer has the ball skip on him, but he sticks with it and makes the strong throw. Another inning with a runner left in scoring position for the Pickles. Bottom of the third when we come back. Ty Hattenhauer gets things going for the Elks in the bottom of this third inning. No score as each side and their pitchers have been in control. Hattenhauer made the play to end the last frame and now gets himself an at-bat. Fouls it up the third baseline. 9-1-2. Hattenhauer, then Gurney, then Pupo. Intrigued on Nick Rodriguez's side, too, how deep he goes into the game, because Jim Hoppel's side tasked with something similar. Got the call on the outside corner. Entering the game tonight, Nick Rodriguez out of Sacramento, California, goes to Sacramento Community College. Just 9 innings pitched in relief. has dealt with the base on balls, but has never seen time as a starter. Sandhauer grounds one softly. This is going to be a tough play from Stroop, and he makes it with a brilliant stretch from MD Connor on the back end. Solid ball all the way around. The only play from Stroop there was to chase up on it on the short hop and pick it cleanly. He did exactly that and then completed the throw on the run. Now the top of the order with Wynn Gurney. Turn takes a strike. Walked his first time and then was caught stealing. Takes down and away. Wynn just happy to be healthy. Had a lingering hamstring injury all year at LMU. And it also popped up again in Bend. That's grounded right back to the pitcher and flipped on to first. A quick 2 outs. Nick Rodriguez is mowing down these Elks so far. Just tapped off the end of the bat, and a routine play from Rodriguez falling off that side of the rubber. Upo takes up. Rodriguez finding himself in a rhythm. And as he's gotten better in this game, it feels like in between pitches, that time has gotten quicker. Upo skies the 1-0 to center field. Malt comes in, a 1-2-3 inning again from Rodriguez. He's only given up 1 hit in 3 innings of work. Now 5 straight batters retired. Josh Jackson in again for another inning of work. The story of the pitchers so far on this Thursday night at Genna, as Jackson looks into Grafton Stroop. Stroop, Castillo, McGuarty, 6, 7, and 8 in the Pickles order. Portland entering this game 1 game below 500, possessing that number 4 seed in the West Coast League South. Stroop hits it foul down the left field line. Found a barrel, though. In the first year under manager Jim Hopple, hoping to make the postseason, Mark Magdaleno set the standard after the Pickles won the championship in 2024, their first as an organization, and then made the championship game in 2025. Although this year's been different, they're still in the same spot. Still an intriguing bunch with talent scattered throughout the roster. Makes games like tonight, though, that much more important when you look at the overall standings at the end of the season. It's the call on the outer third, 2-2. Stroop his first time walked and then stole second. Hattenhauer even with the bag at third in case Stroop tries a sneak attack bunt. Full count now as that fastball sailed on Josh Jackson. The last time that Josh Jackson was supposed to pitch was in the Sunday afternoon game at Ridgefield. And he went out on the mound and he got ready to throw his pitches. And then the home umpire Jim Courtney made Jackson aware, you're not on the lineup card tonight. And he had to exit the game before even throwing a pitch. So I'm sure he's been eager to get back on that rubber. As Stroop walks for his second consecutive AB. That is already free pass number 5. 3 walks and 2 hit by pitches on the Elk side. Last night, that is what hurt. They collectively walked 10 batters. That didn't even count the hit by pitches scattered. Man on for Luis Castillo. Fouls it back. Castillo went down swinging in the bat. That's the lone strikeout from the Elks pitching staff. Jackson looking for a ground ball. It's Castillo to pop one up. Softly behind first base. Beck sprinting back, but could not get there. Good effort. It fell into that Bermuda Triangle near the beer garden. Nice crowd on this Thursday night. Just a few more home games left in this 2026 season. Stroop goes. Breaking ball misses low. Smith's throw down is late. And Grafton Stroop, for his second consecutive time on the bases, has stolen. Stolen base number 7. Stroop is 7 for 8 on attempts. It's already 3 bags from the Pickles as a team, too. The Elks have struggled with holding runners on tonight. 2-2 now to the towering Luis Castillo. 6'2", 270 pounds. Just an imposing threat. And when the Elks and Pickles took on each other at Walker Stadium, he hit one of the longest home runs I've ever seen. Strikes out here as Jackson paints the outer third. One away. That is a perfect pitch from Josh. Could not have located it better. Bringing up Tyson McGuarty. McGuarty and Duncan at the bottom of the Pickles order, the 2 batters that were hit by a pitch their first time, ultimately loaded the bases on the Pickles side. Portland, of course, were not able to cash in. Perez pitched through the jam. Jackson utilized as the bridge guy tonight. Looking to give the Elks a couple of innings, keep this game where it's at. 0-1, 1 out, and a runner on second. We're in the top of this 4th inning already. Not even an hour into game time. Because of just the 2 hits combined, 1 on each side. Jackson taking a deep breath as he fires a fastball that misses in. Gordy's got himself just one run batted in. This is just his 14th at-bat as a Portland Pickle. Late addition to this team, giving themselves some more catching depth out of Lynn Benton Community College. Three balls and one strike. Have the open base at first, Caleb Duncan on deck. But ideally, Jackson looking to challenge this part of the order. Gordy puts a charge into a ball to left, but it's in the park, and Murphy makes the catch. Look cleaner off the barrel, but it stays right in the reins of Jackson Murphy. Pickles batters have been early on a lot of these pitches from Elks arms, and Murphy, in turn, has gotten a lot of action out there and left. Here again, the Pickles are with 2 outs, looking for a clutch hit to bring home that first run. Jackson's breaking ball is called a strike. That was a lot slower than his traditional slider at 75. Low and outside. Duncan swings through the 0-1. Jackson looking for another 0. The 0-2 with 2 outs, and it misses down and away. Stopped by Smith. Duncan coming from Wichita State the last couple of seasons. This last year hit .258. But the Pickles has been that 4th outfielder. Comfortable in that box from the right side. Pops one up to shallow center field, but Gurney's there. 2 innings of zeros from Josh Jackson. And the game stays tied at 0s with no scores. Let's take a look around the West Coast League as we head to the middle of the 4th. Victoria on top of Port Angeles, 2-1 top 3. We're even here, of course. Wenatchee keeps doing it. They click on all cylinders every night, and they're going to be a difficult team to knock off in the North. 7-1 over the Kelowna Falcons. Corvallis bounced back after their early 1-0 deficit. Now up 3-1, bottom 3. North Paws beating the Riverhawks 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pippins and Drifters tied at 2. In a big game, especially for the Portland Pickles when it comes to the standings hunt. They're rooting for Yakima tonight. That came just early on in the top of the 2nd. And then the Bellingham Bells. What's going on in Marion? 11-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. An early onslaught as Bellingham has gotten the bats rolling. We'll step aside, be back for the bottom of the 4th after this. All right, bottom 4. Nick Rodriguez, 4th inning of work in his first start as a Pickle. And Beck swings through the first pitch he offers at. No scoring affair, a pitcher's duel. If you like old school baseball, this game's for you. Beck, Pfeiffer, or correction, Beck, Murphy, and Pfeiffer. Two up. Beck takes away. First time through, Cam struck out swinging. We reminisced about his swing on Tuesday night. Beck grounds one softly. Elijah McNeil comes in, and the ultra smooth shortstop. A routine 6-3 putout. Always seems that Elijah McNeil out there at short gets a good hop. And this time it was him waiting back, not taking the easy short hop, instead getting the long one. Beck was running well, but the step and throw in time. Rodriguez with a changeup to Murphy, called the strike. Crazy to think what Nick Rodriguez has done tonight, considering how his season has gone prior to this. ERA ballooned over 10 at 11.6, and that's counting this performance. And last year also was a Portland Pickle, had a 13.5 ERA in 6 innings. But something a bit different about this night at Genna. Rodriguez rocking with newfound swagger and shutting down these Elks, at least for the time being. Murph takes up and away. Tapped one back to the pitcher in his first at-bat. Lines that one back up the middle, off the base, and into center field. Just the second hit of the night from the Bend Elks. Murphy found a barrel in 91 off the bat. That's a guy you can't overlook in Jackson Murphy. The last 2 weeks, he's been different. More consistent, high-quality at-bats. Pfeiffer on the first pitch, singles into left. And the Caravan continues with back-to-back knocks, giving the Elks their best chance so far. This brings up Jordan Ortiz, and time now called between McGuarty and Rodriguez. J.O.'s been good in RBI spots too, so that's what this conversation is likely all about. Ortiz walked in his first AB, continuing to get on base. Reading from the first base side's Rodriguez. Ortiz takes a pitch up. 8 runs batted in from Jordan. Also accounting for his time off with the hand injury. That average sky high. Murphy on second and Pfeiffer on first. Ortiz takes a strike. Tough year at LMU for all the boys that came over from the Lions, including J.O. Just a handful of wins in their conference schedule. Encouraging signs considering just all the young talent that they do have. 2-1 now to Ortiz. That potential exuded from San Jose, California, played at Valley Christian. Highly competitive high school baseball in NorCal, and it set the stage for a Division I career. Ortiz ropes that foul. It was a hanging breaking ball where if he did wait back, he could have sent it on top of the grocery outlet. Ultimately, just a long strike. Base hit would break this 0-0 draw at the moment. And he grounds one softly to McNeil at short. Flip to second for one, throw to first, and inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Elks leave a couple on base to the fifth on Bend Elks YouTube. The fifth inning. Top of the order coming up from the Portland Pickles. Elks' last frame had 2 runners on base, but Jordan Ortiz grounds into the 6-4-3 double play to end the rally. Chilcutt starts things off. Takes a slider for a strike at the top of the zone. Chilcutt, Nidowitz, and then Maltz. Chilcutt 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out tonight. Jackson with his slider. More Ty Hattenhauer, who has gotten so much action over there at third. This one maybe the easiest one to field out of the bunch, just a high hop into the glove. In on the infield turf, thinking Massa could maybe lay down a bunt. All over that high hop. Now Cody Nidowitz. Really that style of game where we are just cruising along because of the pitching. And love to see it from Josh Jackson, because at the beginning of this season when he was dominant out of Umpqua, you thought, how could this guy not go to a Division I program? And although things started to slow down during the middle of the season, the stuff with his unique delivery is still so one of a kind that when it's pieced together, he can go anywhere he wants. Nidowitz grounded out his last time to Eli Pupo, the unexpected second baseman in tonight's game. There he is, some tape on the hand. His first time wearing an infield glove all year. The dimensions on that thing a lot different than the large outfield mitt designed for catching fly balls. Nidowitz scorches one at 96 off the bat into right field. That is just the second hit of the night from Portland. Odie, the switch hitter from the left side. Ultra comfortable from over there and got a pitch in his wheelhouse, middle in. Brings up Kai Mall. Malt doubled in his last at bat to add on to that batting average lead in the West Coast League. Will take a strike there. From Santa Barbara, California, UC Davis Aggie, just like Elijah McNeil on the same roster. And two young players with about as bright of a future as you can get. Stealing is Nidowitz as Malt fouls back the 0-1. Just an update on that batting title chase. Entering the game this evening, Kai Maltz at a .381 average. He's in the clear by 0.018 percentage points, so that's a decent amount, with the next closest being Ethan Reynolds at .363. If Malt can keep things up, he could be the man to take home the crown. As he lofts that one into left field, Murphy's got to go back, but he makes the catch in front of the track. Murphy and Hattenhauer, the left side of the field, have gotten peppered by these Pickles batters. Two gone, MD Connor steps up with the runner on first. They throw over and throw it away. Nidowitz will move up to second. That's a big 90 feet. And the error goes down on Josh Jackson as he simply just threw that ball away. He yanked that one, didn't really give Cam Beck a chance. An aggressive running from Nidowitz got Jackson thinking. Now you give Connor, the Pickles RBI leader, an RBI chance. Nidowitz takes a strike. Changeup misses away. Been two ground outs from MD Connor to the second baseman in Pupo. Coming from South Alabama, where he didn't see time at all on a consistent basis. But Connor can flat out hit. And he's done it all series. Rounds that back up the middle. Pupo's going to dive, but it goes by him. Hitting third and coming in to score is Cody Nidowitz. That error by Josh Jackson on the throw comes back to bite him. And the Pickles have the first run of this game. That was just 91 back up the middle. Pupo did get a glove on it, but it trickled far enough into center where it was an easy score from Connor. That is the third consecutive time this series where the Pickles have struck first. Neal takes in. Connor adding on to his team total in the RBI column with 33. That's a lot, but the West Coast League winner in that stat will likely have around 50. McNeil was out in front of a breaking ball and fouls it away. McNeil's been given the most action to Ty Hattenhauer over there at third with a pair of groundouts there. Jackson working deeper than he traditionally does in a game at 43 pitches, but built up for it. 2-1. Sun beginning to play a factor, beaming in from left center field. Still on the bricks, just to the left of home plate from your vantage point. Head of our home plate umpire, and the bat of Elijah McNeil plastered against it. Jackson misses 3-1. Struggling with finding his own this at bat. Just to tell the story about this summer and all the people that have left, just take a look at that Elks dugout. If you remember and have been watching with us all year, that dugout used to be full all the way down. But much different now. Stealing is Connor, and blooping one into shallow left is McNeil as it falls. Going from first to third is Connor. The bloop single at 71 off the bat puts runners on the corners. Whether intentional or not, it was a hit and run as Connor was moving on the pitch. Murphy was respecting McNeil, playing deep into left center. Didn't have the speed to get there. Look at that, just a handful of guys. Your Alan Cox down there towards the end of the dugout. Time called between Harper and the rest of the Elks infield. There's Allen. Third year with the Bend Elks. And it's been a tough season to say the least, one that's pretty unexplainable considering Allen's success at every stop he's had. A proven winner. This year the Elks 13 games below 500 and looking for answers. Arm getting loose in the Elks bullpen. It looks like it's Alex Figueroa. We'll confirm that momentarily. This is Grafton Stroop. Takes down and away. That is Figueroa. Easy to spot from a distance, even in the press box, not only with his sidearm delivery, but one of the few guys that wears a headband under his hat. Stroop has walked twice. McNeil steals. Fastball misses away. They're not going to throw it down. The fourth stolen base from the Pickles in this game alone. The first and third situation is a tough one at any level. And with how far off McNeil got, it was in Smith's best interest to just let him have the bag. Now becomes a pretty big at-bat with two runners in scoring position in just a one-run game. Group takes in, and it's right on the black. There's been more egregious pitches called to strike tonight from our home plate umpire. That one didn't get the call. Pitch number 50 coming up from Josh. A clean first inning of work he had. Same with the second, just a base runner allowed in each. But this one, Pickles doing damage. And Jackson walks Stroop on 4 pitches. Feels like the end of the road from Josh Jackson, based on scenario with the sacks now packed. And just as I speak, Alan Cox is going to get him. Prime opportunity for the Pickles to maybe get their first crooked number and put the ball in their court. But they got to face the funky Alex Figueroa. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 5th when we come back. Look around the West Coast League on this Thursday, July the 30th. Yes, we're going to keep checking because these games mean a whole lot. Harbor Cats on top. Wenatchee still on top big. Corvallis has extended their lead against Ridgefield 6-1 now in the top of the 5th inning. Big bout in the south there. North Paws and Riverhawks. Kamloops on top 4-0, top 5. Yakima's beating Springfield 5-3 in the top of the 3rd. If you're a Portland Pickle fan, you like to see that. And then Bellingham still on top 11-0 over the Marion Berries. Alex Figueroa, the new pitcher into this game for the Bend Elks. All 3 runs inherited by Josh Jackson. And the hitter's Luis Castillo, who takes outside. Figueroa, 4.91 ERA. Multiple inning roles he's been utilized in more over the last 3 weeks than ever. But here the task is to just get out of it. Already down 2-0 to Luis Castillo. One of those guys that you don't want to get into a hitter's count against because he does so much damage on pitches in the heart of the zone. Connor McNeil and Stroop the runners. Castillo fouls it away. Regardless of when Figueroa comes in, it's tough to hit that. Bending to his side, the low 3/4 near the belt buckle. So tough to see. Castillo takes a strike and an absolute gift from our home plate umpire. Castillo took ball 3, but Figueroa will take it. This becomes a big pitch. 2-2 with 2 outs. Bases loaded. Castillo's going to call time, and it looks like an offensive timeout from the Portland Pickles. This is strategy, too, to just have Castillo get level-headed after he knew that pitch wasn't a strike. Already with 2 Ks in his first 2 at-bats. A moment both teams will likely look back on in this game, depending on how it goes. Figueroa got him. Painting Castillo on the outside corner. And Luis begging and pleading, feeling like he got the bat taken out of his hands. The Pickles leave him loaded for the 2nd time in this game. Still just 1-0. The pitcher's duel continues. Sun now shining brightly into the press box. Welcome back to Vince Genna Stadium. Aiden O'Neill up here in the booth. Both sides, their pitchers have really told the story of tonight's game. And Josh Jackson there, giving Pickle fans nightmares of that Tuesday night game where they left so many runners on base. That's now their second inning, leaving the bases loaded. Eden Smith starts the fifth off for the Elks. But task number one now on Ben's side, despite getting out of that last inning, is getting to the Pickles starter and Nick Rodriguez, who has been fabulous. Smith, Hartlob, Hattenhauer, bottom of the Elks order. Smith still searching to get the bat going as he takes. First time through for Hayden, struck out swinging. Rodriguez working in his quick rhythm as Hayden grounds one softly to Stroop at third. One out. There's only been one time tonight where the Elks have gotten the leadoff runner on base, and that came in the first inning, the first batter of the game on the Elk side. That routine for the sure-handed Grafton Stroop. Now time called on an equipment malfunction, as it looks like coaching staff on the Pickles side was fixing the chest protector of McGuarty. Camden Hartlob with the sun shining in his eyes from the right side. Takes a strike. This newfound success from Nick Rodriguez could be pivotal because the Pickles are looking for some arms that get things going as the playoffs near, and that hunt becomes even more intense. 1-1 to Hattenhauer. We'll make this Hartlob correction as he swings through it. Hartlob and Hattenhauer, number 10 and number 11. Both from Caldera High School. Hartlob grounds out softly to Chilcutt. Connor had to shade his eyes. He caught it and then he bobbled it. And time is going to be called as Perry Schofield's going to go check with his partner. The question is, was this on the transfer or on the catch itself? Because that determines if he was out or safe at first. They're going to stick without. Johnny Kemp telling Perry Schofield that no, it was a true bobble. We'll see here. Schofield got it right. That's absolutely on the transfer, I think. We'll watch it back, though. Two-way and Ty Hattenhauer takes a strike. All right, so if this is in the back of the web, then he's ultimately out. And I think there it is. And then the bobble occurs on the transfer. MD Connor, though, was struggling with this sunshine. And Rodriguez keeps going. 5 innings of shutout baseball, and the Elks offense haven't made a sound. To the 6th on Bend Elks YouTube in this duel. Another look around this West Coast League tonight, and you can look at the rest of the other scores that haven't changed a lot. But take a peek into your bottom left. That game already, the Pippins were up when we checked last. The Springfield Drifters, 4 runs in the 3rd inning, are back on top. They've been the hottest team in the West Coast League South, and they're doing it again, folks. We'll keep tabs on that as the night moves on. As we enter the game tonight, the Pickles 2 games up on the Drifters for that final game in the for the final spot in the West Coast League South playoffs. Pickles, of course, lead it here, but a close one. Defined by both sides in their arms. Tyson McGuarty will start off this inning. McGuarty, Duncan, and Showcut, 8-9-1. Alex Figueroa, his first full inning of work. McGuarty swings through it. Fig entered the last inning in a bases-loaded spot, looking to save Josh Jackson, and he did it. A punch out to Luis Castillo ended the inning, and he got Castillo looking. Big breaking ball from Fig called a strike. Figueroa, the Tucson, Arizona native that spent time in Northwest Oklahoma State last year. If I was a Division I coach watching this guy work, I'd say he's a guy I could use in my rotation, a specialist. It's so hard to barrel up if you pair him with maybe even a tough lefty from the opposite side. McGuarty stays alive on the 76-mile-per-hour off-speed. But the Pickles, if they win tonight, it would even the season series with the Elks 3-3. Tiebreakers won't come in play unless the Elks go on a massive run and win out the rest of their games. But still, any win the Pickles can get is big, with their final 2 series being against Walla Walla and Yakima. McGuarty hit that off his foot, so had to walk and shake it off momentarily. Infield straight up across the board. Full count as big miss down and away. Critical to attack the bottom of this order. Same thing was said for Josh Jackson. All the damage that the Pickles' top 4 can do is McGuarty's hit. That is the 2nd time that Tyson McGuarty has been hit by a pitch, and the 3rd time an Elk has plunked a pickle. He checked his swing. It didn't look like he went around. I think he appealed it to Schofield, and Schofield said he didn't go. I don't know what's in the water this series, but the hit by pitches has been peculiar. Both sides experiencing it, but especially the Elks. Caleb Duncan squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes outside. Manager Jim Hopple sensing what this game has been all about, the pitching. So manufacturing runs on the table more than ever, and already something the Pickles do at a high frequency. Squares to bunt and fouls it. Not an easy time of the night to bunt, especially with the pitch at the top of the zone. See Duncan go to bunt it, and the heater sneaks up on him at 82. Coming from that arm slot, it has natural rise. Duncan gives himself up again and bunts it foul. Forcing the action on Duncan, who hasn't been able to get it down. Likely will take the bunt off from number 50. 1-2 with nobody out. In the top of the 6th inning already. 1-0 game. Does not square. Snap throw down to first. And Hayden Smith, by popping up and throwing it, potentially took away strike 3. That was right on the black on the outer third. You love the aggression from Smith, but that pitch was right there. On our end, it caught the black. Big throws over to look at McGuarty. The catcher doesn't have a stolen base attempt yet this year. Fouled away. Duncan just battling with Alex Figueroa. Fig also spent some time at GCU, and his second year in the West Coast League was with the Walla Walla Sweets last year. And I remember the Elks when they had to face him. You wondered, how can these guys possibly barrel him up? Duncan pops one up to shallow right center field. Late jump from Pfeiffer, and it falls in off the glove. An infield single makes it, or a bloop single rather, makes it first and second with nobody out. It was hit softly, but I think Pfeiffer was shaded deep into the alleyway in right field where he just wasn't able to catch up. So you best believe now if they were squaring the bunt with a runner on first and nobody out, we'll do it again with the leadoff guy, Chilcott. Takes in after squaring. Smith saying something there, wanting an appeal to Perry Schofield. It looked like Chilcott pulled back the bunt. 0 for 3 night from the infielder out of Rice from San Antonio, Texas. Fig looks in, and the bunt is perfect. Up the third base line. Tough play from Fig. High throw, but Beck comes back down on the base and saves a potential error. It's a successful sacrifice. But you hold your breath if you're the Elks, because that was disaster averted. The athleticism there from Beck to go up and get that and to fall back down right on the bag. Impressive. Figueroa off the other side of the rubber, rocketed that ball. Very nice play. With one away, though, the entire infield will come in. Nidowitz, who grounds one to the shortstop, and Hartlaub makes the play, throws to first, 2 outs. To get Nidowitz there on one pitch is major, and that's why you bring the infield in. Young shortstop and Hartlaub making that look easy. Holds everybody where they are. And you wonder if you consider a bunt with Kai Malt now up. MD Connor just as tough on deck, though. Takes outside. You have the open base at first, meaning could let him go on the good old intentional walk. But a more favorable decision would be Figueroa just looking to stay on a corner. Malt already has a double. He's 1 for 3. And he grounds one back up the middle. Pupo shades over, but it's not going to be in time as throw to first. McGuarty scores. An RBI infield single makes it 2-0 Pickles. Eli Pupo did all that he could, but it was just hit 72 off the bat, and there were no infielders there. Malt does run well. Places him at first, and now runners on the corners, as Malt's just going to take second. Smith doesn't throw it down. 5 stolen bases now from the Pickles. That's Malt's second, who adds on to his team lead. Comes a big spot in this game. 1-1, 2 outs. A base hit would add on to this lead. Pickles have yet to have that big hit that is really a gut punch to the Elks. Connor fouls that back beyond home plate. They were able to get 1 run in last inning, but left the bases loaded. 1 run in this frame. Another golden chance with 2 runners out there. Connor slashes it foul down the left field line. Hit it well. He was the one that picked up the RBI single last inning. So this Pickles offense has been rejuvenated. But from the left side and at bat at this time of the night with that sun, not easy at all. One, 2 with 2 outs from Alex Figueroa. This is on the changeup. Straight up across the board is the defense. Connor clubs one to deep center field with backspin. Gurney gets turned around but makes the catch in front of the track. And once again, the Pickles do score, but the Elks keep this game intact going to the bottom of the 6th. Yep, we're doing it again. Around the West Coast League. Middle of this 6th inning, 2-0, Pickles on top. The Drifters and the Pippins, although it says 7-5 there, the game is now tied 7-7 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Both of those teams going back and forth, still with playoff hopes and looking for them to come to life. Elks have the top of their order. 2 up against Nick Rodriguez, who's been unscathed. And Gurney swings through it. Yes, the Elks down 2-0, but the Pickles have left 11 runners on base. And credit to the Elks pitching staff. They've gotten out of some difficult jams. 1-2 now to Gurney. Gurney, Pupo, and Beck. Just looking to strike to get that confidence back in the first base dugout. Gurney tap back to the pitcher in the 3rd inning. Incoming sophomore out of LMU. Stays alive and fouls it away. Crowd was getting into it in between innings. Great field PA guy Carson. Dialed in per usual. And look at the bottom of the left there. 8-7 Pippins. They're on top, bottom of the 3rd. Gurney strikes out swinging. The 4th K from Rodriguez. Jim Hopple's got to be ultra pleased over there in the third base dugout because this has been something that they haven't seen out of Rodriguez all year. And he's turning in one of the best pitching performances of their season. Eli Pupo fouls it away down the left field line. 8-7 Pippins. Wow. Pupo late again, but hit it hard foul. Pippins are still a team that are in the hunt for the playoffs too. Losers of 4 straight, as the Drifters are looking for the sweep in that series. They were a team, Yakima was, when they took a series at Genna Stadium that looked dangerous, that looked like a team that was going to be in the playoffs for the first time. But the Drifters have that aspiration. Neck and neck with Portland as Pupo dunks one down the left field line. Slicing away from Nidowitz. He dives. Oh my goodness, he caught it. One of the best plays of the season, courtesy of Cody Nidowitz. A Superman dive near the line, and he squeezes it. Can you believe it? That is just bonkers. But they say it dropped. That was Alan Cox's argument, the Elks third base coach, that instead of Nidowitz squeezing it, it fell down. Umpires come together, that's their ruling. And now Jim Hopple face-to-face with Perry Schofield. On the initial look, this looks like it could result in something beyond just a conversation, because they are nose to nose. In all honesty, we couldn't really tell from up here in the press box. But they rewarded initially the effort from Cody Nidowitz. Hopple departs. With how Cody Nidowitz had his chest facing the wall, if he did trap it, then it would have been an easy way to be deceptive and hide it from Perry Schofield, because you can trap it on your body if your body's not facing the umpire. Goes down as a double for Pupo. Now Cam Beck takes a strike. Cody Nidowitz didn't come up initially with sheer excitement, which would have been a SportsCenter top 10 play. So that could have contributed into the Elks thinking that even Nidowitz thought it was a trap. Beck takes low, it squirts away. Pupo's going to look to go to third, and McGordy kicks it. Pupo now 90 feet away. If McGordy picks this up clean initially, may have had a play. But the new Western Oregon commit, Pupo, doing things on the bases as always. Beck takes a strike 1 and 2. Cam already had his moment against Portland. And we're earlier in the 6th inning here. With a chance to give the Elks a run. Takes a fastball up at 88, some of the best velocity we've seen from Rodriguez. Corner infielders and Stroop and Connor creeping in. Brilliant back pick by McGordy. That saved a wild pitch from Rodriguez. But Beck works it back to 3 and 2. Beck's got himself 9 runs batted in this summer and stays alive on the foul ball. Has the power to tie this game with one swing of the bat. All night long on Tuesday, we kept saying that, and then it finally came to fruition in the 8th. Beck takes ball 4. And there's runners on the corners with one out. Elks in business in this 6th inning. Bringing up Jackson Murphy. They've had their chances. But if I'm seeing this correctly, with Pupo at third, it is the first time tonight that the Elks have had a runner 90 feet away. And we're in the 6th inning. This time is now called Chad on the mound. No Jim Hopple, so this will likely just be a conversation on strategy when facing Jackson Murphy here. Rodriguez at 79 pitches has gone 5 1/3. 4 Ks to 3 walks. Elks in these chances have found themselves into that double play. And the goal for Murphy will just be to lift this baseball anywhere into the outfield, as that would bring in a run. Had a hard hit single back up the middle in the 4th inning. Pupo on third, Beck on first. Murph pops it up. Foul territory. McGuarty near the net, and it goes foul. Elks happy to know that that's a souvenir, and the kid got it. Top shelf. Yes. And you got to make sure that Murphy signs it after. That's what baseball is all about right there. Gives Murphy another life. One and one. Just a hair up. Pickles got some stirring in the bullpen. Still their original starter in Nick Rodriguez in his first start with the Pickles. This season, 81 pitches deep. That goes. Change up. The throw goes back to the pitcher, and it hits off his bare hand. That is as unique of a moment as you'll see. It looks like McGuarty and Rodriguez were on the different page of the same book. McGuarty, his idea was to throw this back to the pitcher in a deception maneuver so Pupo would maybe get caught up. Rodriguez thought it was going all the way through and tried to stop it with his bare hand, his pitching hand at that. The infield comes in. A base hit would tie this game. Murphy takes high. Powerful Isaac Pfeiffer on deck. 3-1 with one out. Pupo on third, Beck on second. Murphy swings through it and chased. Ball 4 down. I think he thought it was strike 3, but I don't know if it is. Or it is strike 3. Jackson Murphy surely thought it was strike 3, but we had 3 and 1 on our scoreboard. So 2 outs for Isaac Pfeiffer. Now you need that 2-out hit. Pfeiffer had a single on the first pitch he saw his last time. Readying from the right-handed box, all the way to the back of it. Takes down and away. This is the chance. When the Elks won on Tuesday night, the 2-out hitting came to life. And you look here as a golden opportunity. 2-1. Pfeiffer from just outside of Portland, from Tualatin. A Portland pilot himself, and inserted into this rivalry on the other side of that city. Pfeiffer grounds one softly to McNeil at short, fields it, throws to first. That will end the inning. And the Elks strand 2 runners in scoring position. They stay scoreless, and Nick Rodriguez stays brilliant. We'll go to the 7th on Bend Elks YouTube. In that last inning, we were confused because on our scoreboard, Jackson Murphy had a 3-1 count to him. But on the throwdown play where Cam Beck stole second and it hit off the pitcher's hand, it was called a strike. It looked like it missed off the plate, but that was ultimately the call. So the umps did get the count right. The 4th pitcher of the game is Jack Harper from San Jose, California, the younger brother of Elks pitching coach Wes. Harper last threw against the Ridgefield Raptors in that Sunday game. Innings eater and hoping to keep this game where it's at. McNeil, Stroop, and Castillo. Harper fires a fastball that's grounded to Hadenhauer at third. One away on the throw across the diamond to Beck. McNeil looking to stay aggressive, but chopped out. Harper last was at Cal State East Bay, Division II program in Hayward, California, in the East Bay of the Bay Area. Also spent time at De Anza, which is where him and Wes were together. Two brothers, one coaching, one playing. Cool to see Jack and Wes rekindle that relationship as brothers get older down the road. As much as you interact with each other when you're young, it becomes a question as you get old. So I'm sure it's been rewarding from Harper and Wes to be in the same environment, Jack and Wes. Now be able to continue that relationship, a brotherly bond that can never be overlooked. Stroop's walked 3 times in all 3 of his at-bats, but Harper ahead of him. When Jackson came in, I chatted about how he had an at-bat in that blowout for the Pickles last night. Harper also did, and he had one of the funniest moments of the game on a pitch that missed low to him. He turned back to home plate umpire Perry Schofield and did a fake ABS challenge, saying, "I thought that was down." And Schofield looked at him and said, "Please don't do that again." Harper didn't mean any harm, of course, but in a game like that, it gave all of us up here a chuckle. 1-2 from Jack. Jack swing. Did he go? He did not. It looked like Stroop was close to going. Tough with only the first base umpire. Let's see from this angle, because this is about what the third base ump sees. Don't think he did. That's little less than the 50-50 zone. Harper's changeup misses out. Three, two, one out. Top of the 7th. Nobody on base in this 2-0 game. Fouled straight back. Harper, no registered stats, but he did pitch in a game. There was one game where the stats got a bit messed up in Ridgefield, but Harper did appear. As Grafton Stroop, for the 4th time tonight, has walked. This is shades of Zane Garvey when the Elks played the Corvallis Knights about a month ago, and he walked 5 times in a game. The dogs are not on the grill. There it is. Getting hungry just looking at it. One out to Luis Castillo. Smith snaps down to first, and it's picked by Beck. Castillo riding a 3-strikeout game already, a hat trick. Yanks that foul. And the Elks have contained the big boppers in this Pickles lineup. That's why the score is only 2-0. But then on the other side, the offense just hasn't been what we saw on Tuesday. And that's been the frustrating thing. It's one or the other so far this season from Bend. Castillo fouls it away. Souvenir down the right field line. Even with the 0 for 3. And 1,100 OPS from Castillo. Big righty from the Dominican Republic. Carson getting these fans into it. Stealing on the pitches, Stroop, and Castillo fouls it. There's beauty in a game like this, though, if you're the Elks. Although it's felt like the Pickles have been in control, you're a bloop and a blast from everything changing. 1-2 from Harper. Got Castillo, the golden sombrero tonight for one of the Pickles' best hitters. Filthy breaking ball from Harper, just folding off the table. Away, and it's Tyson McGuarty. He's been hit by a pitch twice. There's something with the bottom of this Pickles order, not just the whole team as a whole, but the bottom of the order has gotten hit a lot. They've got magnets on their jerseys. McGuarty chases. Throws to look at Stroop, and he's back with a dive. Stroop with a hefty lead off of first. He's thinking about going. Does not. Harper's breaking ball misses away. Still a nice crowd staying on hand here at Genna. Hoping for some late inning fireworks, just like we observed on Tuesday. Was a similar game. The Elks were down by 2 going into that 8th inning, and then had one big swing of the bat. McGuarty Skies one to left, but in the park, Murphy comes in and makes the catch. A clean inning from Jack Harper. Stretch time at Genna, and the Elks got some momentum. Do not go anywhere here on Bend Elks YouTube.
All right, Elks fans, it's still the 7th inning, and that means it's time for the 7th inning stretch. So go ahead and stand to your feet, and we're going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Take me out to the ball game. Let me hear ya! Ball game. Let's get some runs!
Jesse Bell in for Nick Rodriguez in relief. Rodriguez wins 6 innings of shutout baseball, and they turn it to Bell in his Portland Pickle debut. Not on their official roster, but on the lineup card tonight. So we're just assuming this is his first appearance. Ortiz jumps on the first pitch and hits one hard, but right at Grafton Stroop on one hop. And he's retired. Nick Rodriguez in his first start of the summer. He just had 9 total innings pitched. He went 6 innings of shutout ball. Prior, he had struggled with the base on balls. Tonight, not too bad, just 3 walks. And Coach Hopple hoping that Bell can do the same. Aiden Smith is 0 for 2. Oh, rocking those stirrups, the low ones near the cleats. This takes a strike. Got an update in Pippin's Drifters, 8-8. The score in the bottom of the 4th inning. Left the bases loaded though. In that bottom of the 4th, Yakima did. Smith grounds out and the throw complete to first. Another play from Grafton Stroop. They're actually going into the bottom of the 4th correction, so Springfield left the bases loaded. But I encourage everybody, and my producer Pierce is going to redirect you to it after this game because we'll likely be over before it. Watch the end of that one. It's got big playoff implications. Hartlob takes up and away on a ball. Just hoping the Elks can get some offense going. Hartlob swings through it. Just 4 hits tonight. The Elks yesterday scored in the 5th inning. They have not scored since that 5th. That's 10 innings straight that they have been shut out. Just 4 hits last night, and the same struggles coming back, starting with the Pickles starting pitching. Hartlob takes up and in. Hartlob picked up his first hit as a Bend Elk last night. Infielder from Caldera High School. Just takes low from Bell. But if you can reach in any capacity on a full count, we've got Ty Hattenhauer on deck who has some power. Pay off to Hartlob, singled into right. Make that hit number 2 as an Elk. And exactly what the doctor ordered, because it gets the tying run to the plate. Ty's 0 for 2 and just an OPS a hair over 300. But in the non-league games before he was playing full-time, the barrel party was there. And if he can get back to that same identity and drive a ball out of here, definitely has the power to do so. Oh, 1, 2 outs, and the runner off of first. Is Ty skies one to center, but right at Kai Maltz. Jesse Bell continues the 0 parade from this Pickles pitching staff. 2-0 on to the 8th. Fifth pitcher in the game for the Elks tonight is the southpaw, Jackson Ashley, who has arguably been the Elks' best reliever this season. And in a close game, Wes Harper going to get him some work. 2.57 ERA, 13 Ks, a 1 whip. The incoming freshman going to Gonzaga from Oregon City, Oregon. And his herky-jerky, funky delivery from the left side provides a difficult at-bat for the opposition. The combination of Hudson Chula and Jackson Ashley next season, 2 Elks pitchers. Bulldogs can get excited by that prospect. Caleb Duncan starts off this frame and lines one right to the shortstop in Hartlob. one away. Faded to his right. Nice jump off the crack of the bat. Top of the order with Masachilka. Thing about Ashley, for a young pitcher at times, it may be hard to find the zone on a consistent basis. But we've been really impressed because Ashley has always been in that strike zone. And with his natural movement, he puts the pressure on the hitters just like you should always do. Breaking ball, grounded, knocked down by Hattenhauer. Great play at third, and his throw to first in time. That is a savvy move on a ball that skipped off the turf, and Hattenhauer just ate it with his chest. That's one that makes every coach around the country get giddy, including, I'm sure, Alan Cox down there in the dugout. Ball home to Nidowitz, his first at bat from the right side here. Called to strike, 1-1. Official attendance for tonight's game, 1,425. This week has been awesome when it comes to the fans packing the stands. And we're extremely grateful for this great fan base. Only 3 more chances after tonight to get tickets to come to an Elks game. We start our weekend series against the Marion Berries tomorrow night at 6:35. Saturday, same time, and then Sunday, of course, at 5:05. Nidowitz takes a strike, 2-2. Ashley's coming off his worst outing of the year against the Ridgefield Raptors, where he gave up a long home run to Josh Proctor. But here looks like the same old Jackson. Nidowitz, soft hit down the left field line is fair. This could be a double, but he trips over first. Murphy's throw goes into second. The turf monster got him right before the bag. Oh no. He had the wise intentions of going to second. But when the turf has other plans and so does the bag, down he goes. Kai Malt on the first pitch. Lines one into right field for a base hit. That makes it back-to-back singles on the Pickles side. One more look at it. Oh! Looks like the front toe just clipped the safety bag, that orange base. And down went Nidowitz. Ashley left on left with Connor. He hit him. Connor didn't try to get out of the way, but the breaking ball just got the elbow guard. And we were raving about Ashley, but done 3 straight guys reach. On 3 pitches, too. As he, as I said, didn't get out of the way, but also didn't lean in. That's just what his elbow guard was used for in that spot. And it signals Wes Harper out of the dugout. This talk is likely just about trusting your stuff. Harper is confident in Ashley as any one of his relievers. Jackson's had that plus stuff, but he's got to go against Elijah McNeil, who's been a tough competitor. 1 for 3, the Pickles shortstop is. His Harper departs. Elks in need to keep this game where it's at if they want a chance for some heroics in the late innings. Ashley to McNeil, and he spiked a fastball, but it's stopped by Smith. Oh man, that was potentially not going to go out on the Elk side. Great block by Smith. Ashley gets back in the zone on the breaking ball, 1-1. Dangerous threat. McNeil had the major night last night, but the Elks have held him down. Still have to for one more AB. And Ashley gets the call at the top of the zone, 1-2. This will really get all 1,400 at Genna into it. 1-2. 2 outs. Nidowitz, Moulton, Connor from third to first on the bases. As Ashley looks in from the first base side of the rubber. Fouled away. McNeil stays alive. Came away as one of the more highly touted shortstops in the nation as a true freshman. Oozing potential. Has himself 21 runs batted in this summer. Pops it up, foul, and not going away. The longer the at-bat goes, McNeil feels good that he'll get a mistake. Measured it back on the curveball. And a good old battle between two heavyweights going down. Under this gorgeous night sky. Ashley seeking a gorgeous moment. He got him! Jackson Ashley on a fastball down and away. Keeps this game at a 2-0 deficit. The Elks and their opportune strikeouts have defined this game tonight. Let's go back to the 5th inning. The looking K on Luis Castillo, who was frozen with the bases loaded. And then in the 8th, they're loaded again. And Jackson Ashley gets Elijah McNeil down and away, was early on the 87-mile-per-hour pitch. The Portland Pickles, just like Tuesday night, have left a lot of runners on base, 15 left on base to be exact. And they're only up 2-0, which has given the Elks a chance to make some magic happen. Just as they did on Tuesday night. The 8th inning was their inning, and they entered that frame down by 2. Gurney Rounds one back up the middle, fielded by McNeil on the run. And he gets Gurney with ease, one away. The Elks offensively have been aggressive early in the count. Just haven't found the success. Make that an 0 for 4 night from Gurn. McNeil, one of the smoothest defenders on the field, no matter who's out there. Jesse Bell's second inning of work for the Pickles misses outside to Pupo. Eli Pupo, after committing to Western Oregon, has had an extra jolt. 2 for 3 with the single and a double. He's the sort of guy with the spark plug that he is. If he were to reach, has a chance to wreak havoc on the bases. And you can't help but notice that the man on deck is Cam Beck. Pupo pops up to center field. 2 outs. And here comes Beck, who in the 8th inning on Tuesday night had the swing of the season. Right center field home run that flew almost 400 feet. Put this place into a frenzy. Take low here. Did not start last night, so still had those positive thoughts lingering from Tuesday. And although he's not up with a runner on base, even cutting this deficit in half with one swing would do wonders. Just got the black at the knees. Beck tonight's 0 for 2 with a walk that came in his last at bat. Also ended up stealing second. Three balls and 1 strike. And the last thing that Jesse Bell wants to do is put the tying run to the plate under his own discretion by walking the previous batter. Beck fouls it away. Got a pitch on the outer third. From Oregon State, no playing time his freshman year after being one of the best players in the state of Utah. And showing his skill here in Bend as he works a walk. Bringing that tying run to the plate in Jackson Murphy. Murph in a spot with 2 runners in scoring position in the 6th. Struck out swinging. Another chance here. Takes low on a changeup. UC Davis, veteran outfielder, part of the order for them for years, entering his senior season. Take a heater that misses away, 2-0. And although Murph hasn't ran into one yet, a good time to possibly do so is in the middle of the count. A mound visit called on the Pickles side. Been gritty from Jesse Bell, pitching to contact, working through runners on base in the stretch. Sitting at 26 pitches. But this meeting too, telling Bell that you don't want to just lay one over the middle of the plate for Murphy where he could park one into right field. Saw how that went to Beck 2 nights ago. Also a strategy in the middle of the at-bat for Jackson Murphy to start to think about this at-bat a bit more. Two 0 with 2 outs. Beck on first as the mound visit is done. And missing in is Bell. 3 balls and no strikes. Same thing can be said for Isaac Pfeiffer on deck when it comes to game-changing power in a spot like this. But assume Murphy gets the take sign all the way. And does, as it's right down the middle. Oaks dugout, Yancey watching on. Murphy fouls it away on top of the field house. Full count. This means that when Bell commits home, Beck will be on the move. You don't want these opportunities to keep going away. Seeking to salvage it. Murphy lines one back up the middle for a base hit. Beck was stealing, but it was hit so sharply off the glove into center. And he stays at second. The second hit of the night for Murph. And here comes the go-ahead run to the plate in Isaac Pfeiffer. Bell got a piece of that with his glove, but was not able to knock it down enough. And it found its way into center as Jim Hopple has seen enough from his righty and Bell. Going to the bullpen. In the biggest spot of this game so far tonight. New pitcher coming in when we come back. Picturesque night with a glorious finish inbound in the bottom of this 8th inning. The new pitcher coming in for Jesse Bell is Josiah Shipley in his first game played with Portland, coming out of the University of Hawaii. 6'4", 235 pounds from the right side, a Beaverton, Oregon native. And he throws cheddar. Fastball will be in the mid-90s. And the first one to Fife at 94, getting the top of the zone. This is about as high of flames as we're going to see from an arm all year. Pfeiffer's 1 for 3. And he fouls it away, was late on 94. Just hasn't made the adjustment. It's so tough. With the different look, a look the Elks haven't seen a lot. Most of these pitchers throwing fastballs in the 80s. Shipley up almost 10 miles per hour from that. Beck on second, Murphy on first. 0-2 with 2 outs. And Shipley strikes out Pfeiffer on 3 pitches on a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Just blew it right by him. Jackson Ashley back out there for the top of this ninth inning. And to end that last frame, got McNeil to keep this game where it's at. But the Elks, in the bottom of the eighth inning, had a great chance in their own right, but they had to face Josiah Shipley, who pumped a 95-mile-per-hour fastball by Isaac Pfeiffer that ended the inning. Stroop, Castillo, McGuarty. Pickles 3 outs away from taking the series. And Stroop, 4 walks tonight. He's just got up there. He could have gone up there with a butter knife and not swung it, and he would still have the same stat line. 4 walks. That breaking ball missed, I guess, up, but right there, we've seen that pitch called a strike. On the brink of his 5th walk with Ashley in a 3-ball count, has to come in. Flies one to center. Gurney has a beat on it, got a nice jump and makes the catch. Joel Roberts will be the new pinch hitter for Luis Castillo now. Oppo going to his bench. Looking for a new spark. Roberts started on Tuesday night and picked up 2 hits, including an RBI. .190 average, a homer, and 13 runs batted in. Fastball misses up. Castillo had a golden sombrero tonight with 4 strikeouts. So the Pickles looking for a new answer in this 7-hole. That pitch misses down. 2 balls and no strikes. A lot of these fans have stuck around. They're hoping for some 9th inning fireworks. Elks this year have had their fair share of walk-offs already. Roberts is late. St. Mary's Gale versus a Gonzaga Bulldog. Ashley going to Spokane. The 2 rivalry schools reuniting in the West Coast League in a big spot as that pitch misses up. Roberts, no stats with St. Mary's, but was on that team that made the long run all the way to the NCAA Regional. Ashley misses down and in and walks the new batter. Elks collectively have given up too many free passes. That's the 11th, combining walks, hit by pitches, and errors that the Elks have given the Portland Pickles. Brings up Tyson McGordy. Ground ball for Ashley. We get him out of the inning, get the bats back in the dugout. McGordy offers on the first pitch and pops it foul. Eight hits, 6 walks, 5 strikeouts. There was a small sample size latter stages of the season where the Elks started to figure out the walks, figure out the whip. And then the last 2 weeks, it's crept back in, a constant theme of struggle. 0-1's grounded. This could be 2. Flip to second for 1. Throw to first from Pupo. A 6-4-3 double play. And in his first start at second base, on the back end of it is Pupo. Elks need 2 to tie, 3 to send everybody home happy when we come back. To the bottom of this 9th inning, Elks trail by 2, and looking back to that double play. Around the horn they go. Hartlob, Pupo, and Beck. And for Eli Pupo to turn that at second base, a natural outfielder, he roared coming off the mound. You know, it felt good. Hoping to build that momentum into the bottom of the 9th. Aiden O'Neill back here in the broadcast booth. We saw the magic on Tuesday, and again against the Portland Pickles in this rivalry atmosphere. The Elks have a chance to do something pretty special. But you got to go against Josiah Shipley, who throws absolute gas. And in that last inning, blew a 95-mile-per-hour fastball right by the bat of Isaac Pfeiffer. This inning starts with Jordan Ortiz, one of the more reliable bats for these Elks. Ortiz, Smith, Hartlob against Shipley. Fires a fastball that misses up. There is at times control issues when it comes to guys that throw really hard. And it's important for these Elks batters to stay selective. 2-0. As the first 2 pitches out of the hand of Shipley miss up. At Hawaii appeared in 10 2/3 innings pitched, but 13 strikeouts to 12 walks. Which goes right with that thought that command at times might not be there. Ortiz with a huge hack. Shipley could not find the zone, and Ortiz just gave him a strike on what would have been ball 3. That's from the third base side and fires. That one is a strike at the top of the zone, 2-2. The Elks this year have already had themselves 3 walk-off winners. 9th inning games that have turned Genna Stadium into a nightclub. 3-2 now to Ortiz. And if you can get that leadoff runner on base, you start to think positively that tonight could have something special in store. Payoff home. Ortiz walks. The leadoff man on and J.O. And it brings the tying run to the plate in Hayden Smith. All Ortiz had to do was just take, and Shipley's command was not there. Hayden Smith from the right side. Swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Smith, another guy that's been hoping to get things going at some point this year. 0 for 3 in this game, but needing to keep the line moving as he takes high. And keeping the line moving right now, maybe as simple as just taking. Forcing the hand of Shipley to find the strike zone. Other pitch misses up. That fastball consistently sailing near the eye level of the Elks batters. All the pressure is on that guy, towing the rubber from the right side. Smith swings through the 2-1. That time dialed back the velocity and got more command. Two, nobody out. Each fan at Genna, all that remain on the edge of their seat. And Smith takes up and in, full count. On deck, Camden Hartlob. Big pitch here, full count. See if Ortiz goes. He does not, and Smith strikes out swinging. Shipley stuck with the fastball, his second K. And it was down the middle of the plate and right by him. One away for Camden Hartlob. Hartlob, the young Bend product, takes a strike. This is a new type of arm that Hartlob and Hattenhauer on deck will have seen, because although competition in Oregon for high school baseball at times can be stiff, you don't see a 90 arm every single day with a fastball that can run up into the mid-90s. And a devastating breaking ball that was inside, and Hartlob ducked out of the way, but it was called a strike. There's been a lot of those tonight on the edges that have been off but have been called. Hartlob's got to protect. Stealing is Ortiz, and I'm not sure why. Why at this point in the game? He's caught in a rundown and tagged out. That is one of the more perplexing moments of the season for the Elks. When the Elks needed to go station to station, and the tying run is up, even stealing second there didn't matter. He just got caught in a rundown, trying to time Shipley, and the Elks are down to their final strike. Just like that. 1-2 with 2 outs. Shipley strikes out hard lob, and the Portland Pickles have taken the series. The 4th time this year the Bend Elks have been shut out. Portland wins it 2-0 and gets back to 500 here at Genna. Josiah Shipley was outstanding at the end, and although he walked a couple of batters, that fastball was practically untouchable. Season series goes 3 games to 3 games. Elks took the series at Walker Stadium. Pickles win it at Genna. And then a battle in Yakima versus Springfield. This game could be pivotal for Portland to take to stay firm in that final playoff spot. We look there, Pippins 10-9 in the top of the 6th. Victoria beating Port Angeles 5-1, top 9. Kamloops beat Edmonton 7-0. Corvallis 11-3 over Ridgefield. And a look at the stand-ins. Not officially updated, but just to know, Pickles will move to 24-24. And they still got a chance to catch Corvallis if the Knights have some difficulties in the final 2 series of the season. Drifters are right there. Opportunity to sweep Yakima tonight on the road. And then, of course, Springfield plays Ridgefield and then Bend. But there's so much to be decided that we're living in a world of hypotheticals right now. But that's the fun part about this time of the year. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Aiden O'Neill, thanks for joining us. Elks offense, they've had these games this season where it just falls flat. And although they did strand some runners on the bases, Portland was in control of this game for the entirety of it. And it was because of the starting pitching effort from Nick Rodriguez. He stifled the Elks offense at the beginning. He went 6 innings of shutout baseball. Although he walked 3 batters, he limited that side of the ball. Then they turned it to Jesse Bell and Josiah Shipley to slam the door, ultimately holding the Elks to 0. Positives in this game, I mean, you can look at some pitching performances from the Elks. Enrique Perez as the opener went 2 innings. He didn't allow a run. He was just fine. Josh Jackson, Alex Figueroa, Jack Harper, Jackson Ashley all had moments of brilliance. And they held a tough Portland Pickles offense who scored 17 runs last night to just 2 tonight. But that's been the thing for the Elks. If the pitching is great, then the offense isn't, vice versa. And that's why they now sit 14 games below 500. And I would imagine we'll get official word before the game tomorrow, now officially eliminated from the postseason chase. It's been a tough year. There's not another way to put it. And in a great chance to take the series and win the season series against the Portland Pickles, it was back to the same old story of not cashing in on opportunities on either side of the ball. Your final lines. 2 runs for the Pickles to 0 for the Elks. Pickles had 8 hits to 6 for Bend. No errors on Portland's side to 1 for the Elks. It's always a tough pill to swallow if you're on Bend's side when you lose to your rivals in Portland. But the Pickles, even in a year where it hasn't been the prettiest, they're still in the hunt for the playoffs, looking to make it for the 3rd consecutive year. For my great producer, Pierce Gordon, our entire crew up here in the press box, I'm Aiden O'Neill signing off. The homestand continues tomorrow, though, so make sure to get your tickets here at Genna. But if you can't, join Pierce and I here on Bend Elks YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow for the start of the Marion Berry series. Take care and have a great night.